When most people think of bad anime, they might think of titles like DSE Pupa, World's End Harem, and X-Arm. But in the world of anime, there are two types of bad anime. Those that are so ass you can't keep watching them, and those that are such a glittering load of monkey shit you can't help but keep watching them. I'm something of a bad anime connoisseur myself, and so I'm very well versed in dumpster diving. But Rent-A-Girlfriend is something truly special. If you're not familiar with Rent-A-Girlfriend already, let me set the scene for you. This is Kazuya, our protagonist. Our story begins with him and the worst girl, Mami, over here, who breaks up with him, and with the speed of a Reddit incel, Kazuya immediately downloads the Rent-A-Girlfriend app. By this point, he's already wrangled his hog multiple times to pictures of Mami, and you very quickly realize something. This guy's gonna make you hate this show. And you'd be right, he will make you hate the show. And you might be saying, yeah, he's a bad protagonist at first, but he gets better, right? Nope. For every 99 embarrassing things this menace to society does, he might make one redeeming decision, but he doesn't learn from it. Let me give you an example. The rescue scene from episodes 4 and 5 from season 1. In this episode, Kazuya is on a trip with some friends, and Chizuru, our main heroine, falls overboard and Kazuya dives into the water to save her. After doing this, however, he passes out from lack of oxygen just as they reach the surface, and Chizuru needs to perform CPR. Kazuya, after being counter-saved by Chizuru, decides the best course of action at that moment is to ogle her water-soaked body and, well, I'll just let the scene speak for itself, cause it's kinda ridiculous.
중心を連続30回どういうつもりよほんとバカじゃないのレンタル彼女だって言ってんじゃん
水原、今
ごめん助けてもらってほんとごめん
こっちだ2名とも発見意識は
This, ladies and gentlemen, is where our dumpster fire begins. But before I continue, we all know why we watch harems, right? The romantic interests. Nobody watches football for Tom Brady's 200th fumble this season, right? Nobody's watching this piece of shit anime for the cringe protagonist who should be banned from the personal space of every woman within 100 feet of him. No, they're rooting for the girls, the romantic interest, or the boys if you watch, like, whatever the boy version of the harems are. Anyway, with that said, every harem must meet at least 2 criteria to be decent at best. Number 1, cool and or interesting looking characters with or without deep personalities and traits. And number 2, a protagonist that is not overly obtuse or unrelatable. Every good harem has met these 2 criteria and done more to hook fans. Examples of good harems are things like quintessential quintuplets, The World God Only Knows, so on and so forth. Both of those anime have interesting protagonists that are relatable, and the other characters have good designs and or deep personalities and traits. Rent-A-Girlfriend has only met one of those criteria, and only halfway. Let me explain. The character designs in Rent-A-Girlfriend are top tier. Some of the best designs, honestly. The mangaka of this series, Reiji Miyajima, is a very good artist. But he cannot write a story. Nor can he make intricate or consistent characters. You see, Rent-A-Girlfriend's biggest issue, which is the sole reason I despise the series, is that nothing changes, nobody changes. Kazuya and his friends, all the way up to the latest volume, 26 of the manga, don't change. Nothing changes about their character. They stay the same. For example, in the manga, there's a scene where Kazuya is in the process of asking Chizuru out. This was a very big scene because it would solidify quote-unquote best girl, but it's cut short by his grandmother entering the room, and just like that, all thought goes out the window. He doesn't ask her out. Immediately he's just like, oh, my grandmother's here, now I can't ask her out, I can't talk to her. And that's pretty much where that goes. And this happens every single time. Every time. That's where the series falls short. It never gets to the point. The characters do not change. They're very linear, and they stay linear. But anyway, Reiji continues to use the same gimmicks he did in the first few volumes to hook the reader, and it's apparent that it's no longer working, because if you look at its history of breaks, each time the score gets lower. During Rent-A-Girlfriend's hiatus from April 10th to March 6th, 2022, the Rent-A-Girlfriend community expressed their concern over the lack of story progression. Less and less people are reading this dumpster fire, and now Reiji is also working on a title called The Shiunji Siblings. It's a romantic comedy about 7 siblings? Wait a minute. Also, Kazuya cucks himself in a dream and enjoys it. I'm not joking. Take a look at this. But yeah, I literally get less social interaction than a waterlogged rodent, and even I had trouble watching this coming-of-age story of a guy who can't differentiate between manga and real life. That's a real line in the story, by the way.
いけると思ったんだけどな。やっぱ映画や漫画みてえにはうまくいかねえもんだ。
That's all I got. Subscribe, like the video if you like it. If you don't. See you guys.